Hey, my name's Susanna. This is my adventure journal, and I have a new trip for today, very soon after that last trip. As you can see from my hat, it is bright orange, which means I am in Florida. So right now I'm doing the lake, well, it's ocean to lake trail, but you start at the lake. So I'm on the shores of Lake Okeechobee, and I am headed to the ocean shore of Jupiter, Florida. So let me turn this around real quick. So this is hard to see, but that's Lake Okeechobee. There's a levee there. The entire lake is run by levee. So I'm not going on the levee. I am going across the road. So this is the trailhead back here. And as per usual on the Florida Trail, you have to cross a busy road. So there is a blaze and a sign over there. So I'm going to turn this off while I'm crossing and make it to the other side, hopefully safely. And got it just before that truck passed. All right, so that was the official trailhead back there. Somebody I met when I hiked the Florida Trail south to north in 2018, Carol Lee, I met her at Billy Goat Days, actually gave me a ride here from the airport. Basically got straight off the red eye and onto the trail. So thank you, Carol Lee, and her parents who helped shuttle me here. And it's kind of late in the afternoon. It's like 2 p.m. and I have 8.7 miles to my first campground. But this already looks pretty cool. Already walking through the palms with the orange blazes. And I'm heading to Dupuis natural area. It's a management area. And we'll see what it has to offer. Okay, this is more like the Florida Trail I remember. A lot of the stretches usually follow roads, and so I can see an orange blaze on the telephone there. Looks like I'm going past some farmland over here. It's only going to be a couple miles of it before I technically enter Dupuis. But it's kind of early in the hiking season here. You can't really hike very well in the Florida summers, and even November, it's kind of on the early edge. So it is a little warm right now, and if you tend to hike early, there's not a lot of trail maintenance that's happened. But so far the blazes have been really good, and the trail's been a little bit overgrown, but this area shouldn't be too bad. What I've got to worry about is when I get to the natural area and if the water levels are high. I'm actually just gonna walk the road right now because I can see these orange blazes on the telephone poles. Doesn't make sense to bushwhack if I can just walk. Okay, since the beginning of this trail is an extended road walk, which is a little boring, and I was in a little rush to get on the trail, let me do a little bit of a better introduction. So I'm hiking the ocean to lake trail, which is usually hiked lake to ocean. And like I said, it's from Lake Okeechobee to the Atlantic Ocean near Jupiter, Florida, and it's about 61 miles. So today I am aiming for 8.7 of those 61 miles. And the sections of management areas we're going through, some of them, I think all of them require you to camp in established campgrounds, and some of them required reservations. So you really have to kind of plan this out, and you can't really do dispersed camping. So I thought it'd be easier just to make it midday, get to that 8.7 mile campground. It's the Loop 4 campground, and then just, go from there. What I didn't factor into the whole situation was daylight savings time. So when I originally booked my flight, I thought I would have at least an hour more daylight than I do now. So that's why I was kind of rushed. But honestly, it's pretty fun being back in Florida on the Florida Trail. When I first hiked it, January 2018, it was so foreign, and now it just feels familiar. And Florida Trail wasn't the first trail I hiked, National Scenic Trail I hiked, but it's the first one I started putting videos up on YouTube. So we can thank the 2018 hike of the Florida Trail for me posting a lot of videos on these other trails, which is really cool. So I think I'm going to be able to be okay getting to my 8.7 mile campsite. I don't have a problem hiking at night, but from my experience on the Florida Trail, it was a little difficult to find the trail at night. So I'm going to try to do as much hiking during the daylight hours as I can, and should be getting to a more natural area to pass the farms and the mines in a couple miles, and I'm excited to see what exists between Lake Okeechobee and the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so I just came off of a levee in this jungly corridor, and now I am entering my first management area. It is the Dupuis management area, and there's Florida Trail signs, so I am on the right trail. And I can already see, step over this thing here, I already see an orange blaze ahead of me. So that's pretty awesome. Sometimes the blazes will fade or peel off the trees, or you know, get cut down or whatever. So it's nice when they are very visible and you can see what direction you're going, because it is really easy to get lost on some of these trails. Not too far into the management area so far, but it is well blazed, very frequently blazed, and you can see the blazes, which is good because sometimes they peel off. But surrounded by palm trees and pine trees and palmettos and orange blazes. Pretty cool to be back in Florida. This way is really pretty with the sun. There's another orange blaze, and it's warm right now. So right now I'm loving it. Tomorrow maybe not so much. 24 hours without temperature control, but the rest of the country is getting pretty cold right now. Even in California, the nights are getting really cold, and when I wake up in the morning I do have to put slippers on because the floors are cold. But not Florida. Florida still got the heat well into November. I was doing so good on keeping dry feet, but I guess now I'm officially on the Florida Trail. I've got a little bit of a water crossing that you can see. The light's getting a little lower in the sky, and we'll be fighting daylight to get to the campsite. Won't be as bad as I originally thought, but this is honestly the first, I'm just gonna walk right through it, first non-alligator like water source I've seen, so I'm glad they're there. I've still got plenty of water, but I need to find the trail. Alright, there's the blaze. That took a little bit to figure out because it's kind of a sharp turn. So, still had plenty of water, didn't need to get water from there, but glad there's non-alligator water sources along this part of the trail. So the sun is starting to go down a little bit, and the trail is starting to get wet. You can see it right here. I'm on a series of loops. The Dupuis management area is a series of loops, so right now I am on the Ocean to Lake Trail, the spur of the Florida Trail, that is in orange and whatever the white blaze means. But I am in the wet feet section now, and I've got about 2.5 miles to my campsite. And if it's like other sections of the Florida Trail I have done, it's probably going to be like this the majority of the way. It'd be nice if it isn't, but I always seem to get wet socks right before I get to my campground. Looks like the sun is starting to set over there. I still have a little over a mile to my campsite, so I'll be trying to get there before the last little bit of visible light disappears. Hopefully the trail stays easy to follow if it does get dark. It's not been too bad so far. There's only been one part that's kind of overgrown and couldn't see where the blazes are. Something concerning is I have been hearing gunshots. Now this area and the one I go into tomorrow, Corbett, do have hunting seasons, but I do believe gun season starts 2 days from now, either tomorrow or 2 days. I don't think it starts now. It is one of the reasons why I wore a bright orange hat with reflective piping on the brim. But would really like to get through here before gun season starts. So a little over a mile to my campsite. I'm guessing many hikers haven't hiked this lately. This is right in the middle of the trail. That is a big spider. Big spider. And this is the trail, but you can't see the net, the web down here. I'm going to try to duck underneath it. It's a giant spider hanging in the air. Okay. Sun is setting, and I need to find this campsite. I made it, and I can still see it, so that's good. And it's a little bit further back here, but I might be the only person at this campsite, which would be awesome. It is still hot, even though the sun has gone down. I'm kind of over the heat already. Hopefully it cools down at least a little bit during the night. Okay, I do have the campground all to myself, and that is it for today. Tomorrow I'll keep heading towards the Atlantic Ocean and exiting Dupuis, I'm assuming it's Dupuis Management Area, that's what I've been saying, and entering Corbett Management Area.